We're live. Hello,
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Magic Hour with myself, Stephanie Siren, and Anna Stone. I'm
Dr.
sorry I said
Stone.
it for you.
Dr. Stone. Hi, Dr.
Hi,
Stone.
everybody.
Yes. Um, yeah. Hello.
So, what are we talking about tonight, Anna?
We're going to be talking about the PPA, or this is an assessment for psychic ability. And it is, to my knowledge, the first and possibly only, maybe there's some in other countries, but scientifically validated scale, psychological assessment or parapsychological assessment that identifies the different, varying different types of psychic ability in people. And yeah, we're going to talk about that and the different types of psychic ability and how they actually. So finally, somebody has described properly what these things look like in real life. Like this person, this doctor
And
has
what do you
made
mean by in real life?
compared to like on TV, right? Compared to on TV. I mean, and on TV, it's like, oh, psychics do a certain thing and it looks a certain way.
Correct.
In real life, not so much. Like a lot of it is not fun, right? A lot of it is upsetting. A lot of it is taxing on the soul and the psyche. And this is the first time I've read accounts of that literally are almost verbatim the way that I describe it to other people. So immediately
Correct.
I was
I had the same feeling when I was going over the resource material that they provided on the website. And
mhm.
I was really happy with the way that they categorized everything.
Yeah.
Which
It,
was that they did a color coded thing, and we'll share that with you guys.
it's in
But
the
they did a
description. Yeah.
it's in the description on there. It's like how they decide like what's what, and it's also what interested me was that, Anna, did you notice that it was related to the elements because they brought in the quantum physics part of everything? Like they brought it in like quantum physics and explained like what it is in nature that happens when we have
Yeah.
these gifts.
Yep. Sure did. So just like I was saying in my paper, my research paper about quantum theory and it being the key, I think, to being able to study this stuff in a scientific way properly instead of it being, some supernatural paranormal thing. It's actually absolutely normal. And it's just that people don't science doesn't understand it and cannot measure it or quantify it the way it wants to. So therefore it's fake. It's not real. That's what they always say, right?
Right.
So this is an assessment that identifies multiple different types of psychic abilities that I wasn't even aware existed. I didn't know there was names for them. And there's a whole bunch of new terminology that I have now that I wanted to share with you guys too. So I have a list of new words that I did not know before yesterday. Like atomnokinesis. Atomno atom kinesis? I don't know. It looks like atomic, like or atom kinesis. And that is the ability to influence weather. But it's actually on the quantum level, it's much better explained. It's the ability to psychically influence the elements around you to cause things to occur, like lightning or rain or whatever. Okay. Then there's pyrokinesis, which is not about fire. Interesting, right?
Right.
I not once did it say fire in there. It's about heat energy. And that's
Right.
the ability to manipulate heat energy or influence heat energy. Then there's xenoglossy. This one I've experienced personally, and I didn't know what the heck that meant. It means the ability to speak or understand a language you have never studied.
Right. Okay,
Yeah,
that is quite interesting. I had never heard of that one at all.
me neither.
I
And then
had the top one that I knew of was hydro. I believe it's
hydrokinesis.
there we go. Hydrokinesis.
Yep, there's hydrokinesis. There's lumokinesis, which is visible light spectrum manipulation. Then there's aerokinesis, which is the ability to influence air and the elements within the air, like the actual elements, like nitrogen, hydrogen, whatever. There's there's so many different types of kinesis. Okay. And that's,
Kinesis.
yeah. And then the really interesting thing is that I have a term now for what I do. I did not have before,
Right.
which is
Right.
telekinetic simulation, which means that I when I get information from I have multiple new things. Okay. So here's how you know there's some interesting things that I was like fascinated by. So if you're getting information from the universe, like, just like the collective unconscious, like Jung's theory, okay,
Yeah.
that will have no emotion attached to it at all. It's just facts. It's just, this is what it is. Boom. And you get it. Okay. And then, but if you have a situation where you are upset by what you hear or see, that is a disincarnate spirit. That is not the universe. The universe has no emotion attached. So if you end up being upset by something or having like feeling like depressed or sad or angry, that means that that's coming from a disincarnate spirit, which is like a person that passed away or
Right.
possibly even a never living entity, whatever.
So that would be
But then
mediumship, right?
what?
That
No.
would be
So
mediumship.
there's mediumship is when you are relaying through a third party. So if you have a spirit guide, which I finally I feel like I figured out what spirit guides are now finally after reading all this stuff. If you have another entity that you use to talk to other people, like on the other side, that's a medium
Yeah.
because you're going through a medium, like you're going through a like a
Oh,
mediator.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. But if you experience it yourself and you see through
Mhm.
your eyes the things the person experienced, or you hear directly in your head the answer, that is telekinetic simulation.
Okay. Excellent. That's really
Mhm.
interesting. I love that they're using the word simulation, by the way.
Because
Mine
you're
was
being simulated. You're in the simulation of their experience, right? Which is
right.
interesting because
Mine
quantum
was
physics again.
emotional simulation.
Right.
So it was empathic simulation. So
Yeah.
basically, what I do is something that a lot of people had explained to me that they had experienced around me, but I didn't know that it was actually a thing that I did. And
Right.
so that's the thing that we were talking about, hydrokinesis. And
Right.
it's I control the emotion of the people around me within a physical proximity.
Right.
Now, that's not the only thing I can do. However, that's like the biggest percentage on the test that I took. And
Right.
this test, guys, again, is on this website and it's very
Hey,
interesting.
I'm gonna link it in the chat. Now it's 80 questions. It takes about 15 minutes. It took me like 5 minutes, but like I'm fast at this stuff. But this is not one question on there is about psychic ability at all. Not one. Not one.
No,
Not one.
it's
Not one
yeah,
question.
that's the
That's what
interesting
made
part
me
about
it
it.
nothing at all even remotely seems like maybe one question. Like, did anyone die? Did you have a lot of trauma? And like, did anyone die when you're young?
Right.
That's about it. Or like, do you feel connected to kids and animals? Like, those are the only 3 questions I could think that were even remotely geared towards any kind of hinting at psychic stuff.
Spiritual,
Right.
anything.
The rest
Yeah.
are all just about how you are in present day form, like how often you are this way, and it's just different questions that's asking you exactly that. So it is,
Well, what was also interesting, they tied it into the Myers-Briggs. Did you
yes.
notice that on the
Yeah,
website?
they did. Yep, I absolutely
I
did.
thought
I'm
that
gonna
was
pull it up.
pretty interesting.
Uh-huh. It is. That doesn't mean so the idea is that most people are like there's 2 that are higher on your scale, whatever, and those are the ones that you're supposed to develop. So when you take this exam, it's free. It's an assessment's free. When you take this
And they have
assessment,
little
it'll tell
mini
you where you're,
courses too.
yeah, mini courses, and it's telling you how to not respond to it and how to respond to it, and like what is a negative manifestation of your abilities and what's a directive manifestation. So meaning something that you can learn from rather than be stressed over, right? And so it's
Right.
really interesting, but like how she describes the information coming in, like popping on top. When I read that, I was like, oh my God, I say that all the time. It just pops in my head like over everything else that I was thinking, and I wasn't thinking about this thing at all before I got it, like not even remotely. But so spirit guides, the explanation for spirit guides, in my opinion, is spot on. Like, because I mean, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna hella disagree with this. Okay. but I'm for it. Come at me, okay? So prove me wrong. Okay, prove me wrong. So spirit guides. Okay, so people, our brains are designed to personify things, to give traits, people traits to things that aren't people.
Right.
So spirit guides, in this, the opinion of this researcher and this doctor, is more along the lines of the universe, aspects of the universe, not people, not spirits, just aspects of the universe that people put people traits onto. So if you get an aspect of, you know, the universe telling you something about, like, say, I don't know, something that has to do with like your family, you might attribute a name to that thing that's more family related. Does that make, you know what I'm saying? Like a more, it feels like a more fatherly or auntie vibe because they were giving, you got information about a family situation from it. And then say if you have another one that's giving you information about like whatever else, like, you know, any other thing, you can just try to personify, you know, or put human traits onto something. It's like animism, right? Like the idea that everything, you know, has some kind of consciousness. So that's, instead of it actually being actual spirits, it's like aspects of the universe, of the collective, that are just there for you to take from, and you're able to take from them. But in order to feel more comfortable, you've put human names on them. Right.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, don't we humanize when we talk about even, you know, God in theological
Or cars
situations?
or boats, like we name them, you know? I mean,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, so I don't know, because again, I have never had a situation with my spirit guides. Like I've never like had know who they are, or like that they're people, and so that's been a weird thing for me. But so I now know that if it's no emotion attached, it's just the universe information that's out there. And if there's is information that's attached, that it is a person, a past person. That makes so much sense thinking about my experiences. Definitely, for me. So I'm putting this link in the, I'm going to put this link in the chat for this assessment, and you guys should take it and then let us know what you scored. Like, let us know what your abilities are if you have them.
Yeah, we would love to hear back from that. Even after the live is over, you can come back to the video and kind of let us know what your scores were, or which one you got the most of. For me, it was the blue and the white. And so that would be water and air.
Right.
And it was quite interesting to me that, because then it also included telekinesis, a type of telekinesis though, which was called, oh, I believe it was arrow something.
Aerokinesis.
There we go.
Yeah.
And it had everything to do with reading minds. So what I thought was clairvoyance, I actually learned from this website. It is actually telekinesis and telepathic abilities to read mind.
Right. It's very interesting because what that means is that, oh, and then if you are a person that gets people obsessed with you a lot, okay? If people become obsessed with you, all right? This is a new thing that I was like, whoa, okay. So if you have the problem of like when you just are being yourself, just yourself, you're not like overly flirting, you're just being yourself, and people suddenly like are just enamored with you and start stalking it, whatever. That's because, according to this research, it's because you're telepathically putting thoughts in their heads without realizing you're doing it. Because you're able to influence their thoughts, and you don't know you're doing it, but they don't know what the heck's going on either. So that's a new one I've never heard either before, but it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense. I don't know. I mean,
well, I have played with this one actually, and I can tell you that I think that is completely true. And I think it has to do also when you vibrate at that self-love vibration, it gets even more magnetic.
Yeah. I mean,
because
it does.
You're thinking good about yourself, so, and you're projecting it out, and they feel it.
Yeah. I mean, this is why can't I get to the link right now? What the heck is going on? Weird. Hang on, PPA assessment. So it's called the PPA, and
and by the way, hi everyone in the chat. Hello, welcome.
I'm really excited right now because
Anna's been super excited about this test.
Yeah, because
it's really cool. We just didn't know. We're just like putting these puzzle pieces together. It's great.
Yeah, it's really it's crazy. It's really just because I've never heard anyone be able to articulate what it's like to have psychic ability on a real level, like not in a Hollywood level, like not in a movie, but like in real life, what it looks like every day. And and then also, I mean, I didn't think that I was like that psychic, but uh, my scores say otherwise, and I'm shocked because reading through the things, I'm going like, "Oh my god, I experience that all the time. I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I didn't know that everybody doesn't experience
Right.
this stuff, like,
Right.
at all." And it's some of
Exactly.
it's really mundane. Like, it's not even something I would have ever even questioned about, you know what I mean? Like, it's very simple things, but when you read the research and you find out the prevalence in the population, it's like, "Wait, what? Like,
Well,
this is
what was
something that's
also
not normal?"
interesting was the difference between they put it in there of learned and then born with, and also whether it was trauma related or not, and how to make those instances happen for you that aren't trauma related, like develop it in a more natural way.
Right. Right. Yeah, right. So that I found it. Jesus, that took so long right
Okay.
now. So that is that's it does. It says that the one of the negative things about it is that because it comes from stress, they all come from stress. So all of these,
Mhm.
so the main thing that causes psychic ability is again trauma. Like I knew it, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Been saying that forever. And that's what it is. And it's either like trauma. So what happens is we start to create trauma for ourselves to keep having the experiences, and that's the negative state that you could be in, where to feel connected you're constantly like living in a loop of like the trauma and then the experience, and then that reinforces the trauma and so on and so forth. And so like how do you get out of that loop? And this tells you how to get out of this loop. It's amazing, and I can't believe that I just found this. It's been free and on the internet for years, and I just found it. So excited. I can have the link now, and see, I'm going to give you guys the actual link to the direct page instead of the one that I already know is
Yeah.
broken. So here,
Yeah.
I'm putting in the chat now, guys. Try it out. Um, okay. So yeah, it's just nuts. It's really, yeah. It's kind of like the law of attraction, I guess, but it's like the negative aspect, which is far more common than the positive aspect. It's a lot easier to live
Right.
in your negativity than it is to be in positive mode, right?
Right.
Because we're
Right. We
here.
have to train our brains, right? We have to
Right,
reframe them in order to attract what we actually like. We have to align what we want with the will of the situation, you know? And
right,
so it's like a gratitude magnet, like from each way. Just like
right.
when you say what's seeking you, what you're seeking is also seeking you.
Okay, so biokinesis, this one. So I get shocked by everything. Like I get shocked all the time. I've always wondered like why, I see other people at the grocery store when they go to reach for like the freezer, like they open the metal door. I don't see other people getting shocked all the time. Every time I get shocked.
I
And I'm
shock
like, this is
people. I
annoying.
don't receive it. I do it.
No, it sucks. I just shocked. I get shocked. Well, that's a thing. That's a thing too. If you have I couldn't believe it. It was like it literally says it. It was like if you have extra energy in your body that it's just going in this circuit and it's trapped and you produce more energy than average person, you're going to have this stuff where you have nervous system dysregulation, where you have ticks,
Yes.
where you have weird like restless legs kind of thing.
Mhm.
Fibromyalgia was listed, all kinds
Yep.
of neurological things that are wrong. And then also being shocked all the time. That was listed. And I was like, shut up, dude. Like, no way. And this is stuff that by the way, this is not just like an opinion. This is over 20 years of research in the lab under absolute normal, regular scientific methodologies. Not
That's the
some,
exciting part. I love
yeah,
that.
not some fancy, like, oh, we made exceptions. No, regular scientific, scientific method, straight up. So
Yeah, so it can be
I put that in
measured.
there. Check that out. Go to that site, guys. Take that test. See what happens.
Yeah.
And then you can take free classes. They're all free. Everything's free on his site. And you can also even download the textbook. I mean, not the textbook. It's the clinical. I'm so excited about this one. The clinical diagnostic manual for parapsychological events. So it tells you how to diagnose. If you were a clinician, how do you diagnose? What criteria has to be met? So it gives you definitive information about how to determine if you're having prophetic dreams, if you're having actual moments of precognition, and so that there won't be question about it anymore. Like, it's amazing. I'm really surprised.
Well, it's
I didn't know
just
about
like,
this
this
sooner.
is awesome because, like, I think it's one of the things that's been catapulted by our gigantic global spiritual awakening, is that people are so curious and everything, you know, and all these things are happening when they're getting these extrasensory things that, like, it's pushing this research forward.
Right. I mean, and it's hard because they make it really difficult to conduct research, as I'm finding out. So mad about it.
Yeah.
Now that I'm done with school for now, briefly. No, I'm not even done. I'm still in another program, but that program just doesn't have IRB oversight. So, you know, can't conduct research. That would be considered scientifically valid unless you have oversight. So, you know, and this is like the problem that we have. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad that you are fine. Yeah, I think it's awesome. Because again, as somebody that has, you know, many years of training in psychology and assessments, and also in, you know, spirituality and witchcraft stuff. Like, this is the first time I've ever seen anything that I felt was valid. Like, because I, as a researcher, like, my heart is still at science. Like, no matter what my daily experience is, I still want to be able to prove it with science. Like, because I want to be able to have that proof that I can say, listen, here you go. Like, stop telling me I'm crazy, whatever. Right. Like, it's important to me. And this is the first time I've seen something that actually lends credibility to it in this way.
I agree with you there, but this is also yes, and I love this, that, you know, think about it this way. What is witchcraft? We're manipulating the elements. We're manipulating time and space. We're quantum leaping, or we're you know, manipulating these elements, right?
Right.
Whether it be through a gratitude mindset or you know, whatever, like, it's just, we're hacking it. Okay.
Right.
But this explains down to the molecule, like, what's happening with our body when these things are happening.
Right.
And that's huge, because it's not just, you know, the Instagram or TikTok version of, hi, I'm a witch. I wear a witch hat, you know, and I look like a witch, and I have
the fad witchcraft. Yeah. Fad. Yeah. Like the trendy witchcraft. Yeah.
It's crap. And
I know.
Like, you know what I mean? So this is like, no, look, this is really what's happening here. This person is capable of this. Their bodies are made to do this. It's innately a part of them. That's why when we speak in mystery school about coming home to yourself, it's because it really is unwrapping all those things that we've been told, like unraveling them out of ourselves, you know, that we've been told about ourselves, programmed to think, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you and I were going back and forth over this, saying, oh my God, this is blowing my mind. Oh my God, did you read that part? That's blowing my mind.
I know.
You know,
and it's rare that happens. It's rare that about this stuff anyway, like that. Again, just because we experience this all the time, like, you know, so I know what my experience is. And this is why I don't believe a lot of people are psychic. I don't believe it. I don't. I will say it right now. I think 90% of the people out there are absolutely full of shit. And they're using it to make money fraudulently, because they don't really have the ability. They may be cold reading people or just using psychology, right?
Right.
And, you know, and that would be fine if you were honest about it. But like, you're not being honest if you're trying to say you're psychic. So that bothers me. But it's because when I ask these people, or when I listen to them and they describe their experiences, it just matches up with what they see, I've seen in movies. It doesn't match up with my experience at all. And I understand everybody's different. Like, I completely get that. Like, everyone's experience is going to be a little different. But now I'm realizing, no, not so much, actually, because this is how many people they studied, and like they have all of these things, and they're all aligning with what exactly I've been experiencing. So I guess I wasn't wrong about that. Like, it's not everybody's different. Like, it is a thing. It's a thing that people experience pretty much in the same way. There might be a little bit of nuance to it, but like, yeah, interesting for me because I knew it. Yeah, they're not connected. Yeah, reading cards, and that's
Right. It's like a puzzle. And I mean, I think that's why sometimes some people get really triggered by us because, like, I will say, I don't need cards. And I mean, Anna doesn't need the cards either, but she loves them because she's.
I like them. They open my door. They open the door for me. That's what gets me into like it gets me
Right.
into that state. It's like how I get there, right? But I don't really use
We all
them.
have our ritual, right, to get into the space. For me, it's lighting a candle, and just like letting my headspace know this is where we're going.
Right. Also,
Right.
so a lot of you guys have asked this question before, and I want to, before I forget, I want to address it. So a lot of you that watch us regularly have said that you've had instances where you've been, you've gotten information from, you've found information that you shouldn't have known, okay? But that it doesn't happen enough, it doesn't happen often, and you want to know how to connect with it, right? So the answer to that is to keep practicing, like literally, so when it happens, it's called spontaneous or intentional, right? Like there's a spontaneous way or it's intentional, and it starts always spontaneous, unless you go to school to try to be a psychic, okay? Which I guess that's a thing, but I don't know. But if you've had it already and it's spontaneous where it came out of nowhere, then that means you can do it. Okay. So right there, you can do it. All right. That's like confirmation for you if you needed to hear that. And then
if it's happened, you can do it.
Yeah.
I think
because it could be there's many people that it's only happened once in their life. And the reason it's only happened once in their life is because it happened spontaneously and it scared them, or they just never thought to try to do it on purpose, because they felt like if it was natural, it would be coming to me all the time. Right. But no, those little.
I think we could shut it down though too.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Yeah, if you get scared of it, you can absolutely shut it down. But the most common 4 types of psychic ability, guys, have nothing to do with dead people at all. The most common 4 types have to do with, it's the type red, which is the pyrokinetic, the type white, which is the telepathic cognition, the type purple, which is telepathic simulation, and then the type blue, which is empathic simulation. Those are nothing to do with dead people. It has to do with the living people in the moment right now in front of you, right? So telepathic means that 2 minds meeting, 2 living minds, living people. And then empathic, same thing, 2 living people. So the person that's getting it and then the person that is being experienced, right? And those are living people. But then the other types, which is yellow, green, gray, and black, are to deal with both living and deceased people. So yeah, and so mine was the highest in the yellow, which is the what is it again? I gotta remember what it's called. It was 90, really high score. I was really shocked by that. I took it again just to check, and this time I got 90, so I did get lower. I answered some. I just was really wanted to make sure that was a valid score because I felt like that was really, really high. I wanted to make sure, so I took it again and I got 90. And that's anything over 75 is considered really strong, and then anything if you have more than 2, it's statistically almost statistically speaking, if you look at how they do the metrics on it, it's you shouldn't have more than 2.
I had all of them.
You could have a little bit of all, but if they're all over a certain level, that's really unheard of, and it probably means that you have some kind of mental illness.
Great, thanks a lot.
Mine are all in the 80s, dude. So I'm screwed. Luckily, I already know I don't have that problem.
Well,
so
I
type yellow.
Yeah. Woo, Lord, that's just crazy.
Type yellow is for psychic experience, is clairvoyant cognition, which is where you mainly receive information physically from the universe or spirit guides, because spirit guides are aspects of the universe, according to this research. But then there's the telekinetic. So clairvoyant cognition is when you get information about somewhere or someone else other than yourself, right? And usually it's more about people than it is about things, right? And if you have this, you probably can communicate with dead people that have passed, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. but also telekinesis, the ability to move things, like things breaking around you, things malfunctioning around you, that kind of stuff. So that was my highest one. And it's the reason for it is because you emit a EMF signature that is far stronger than the average person. That's why.
Okay, I have a question now.
Not even it.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Now you've just like opened a can of worms here. Okay. Because let's think about this for a second, right? Because when we hang out, things pop or they jump off shelves, right? And like when we hang out with other people who have the same kind of abilities, it kind of is the same thing, right? And they do have a rating, guys, also on there where it's like where you only need yourself or you need a circuit with somebody else. There's like one called bio something, and I do that, but it's like you have to use a circuit between two people.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if because I'm that way, when we're together, it amplifies it.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is other people. So it even says in one of the courses that like it's important for you to be around other people that are similar to because that energy needs a place to go. So people that emit this higher frequency of the EMF or hang on, I wrote it down. It's actually I'm saying this wrong. EMS, electromagnetic spectrum, and the VLS, the visible light spectrum. Okay, up until infrared and ultraviolet. This is a signature of being a healer, like somebody that can heal people. But that also means you can heal yourself if you know how to do it right. But the stored energy, if you're not using it properly, will cause you to be sick.
Yes.
So you will be tired. So the symptoms, the issues that are associated with it are fibromyalgia, lupus, any autoimmune diseases, restless leg syndrome, tics, like anything, like anything like that, that's just uncomfortable neurological things. Also seeing and the other thing is like seeing the things in your eyes, like the lights and stuff. That's another sign of having this energy situation going on. And it's because your body is just producing more energy than the other person. And it's, that's genetic. So, it's not abnormal. It's not paranormal. It's totally normal. Like I've been thinking this whole time. So that's
part of our DNA, apparently. Like, wouldn't it be part of our DNA then?
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you think it's evolutionary, or do you think it's not? Do you think it's like maybe
again, we didn't devolve. So humans, like we have evolved in one capacity or another, but we've also devolved in other capacities. And the devolution of humans from back in the day, which I've been saying forever, the hunter-gatherer stuff, is because we didn't have language and we needed to know when there was danger around, right? So, but over time, when danger started to be not really much a thing anymore, like, wild animals not chasing us around anymore, we have grocery stores, etc., right? So now our brains haven't changed though. Our structure of our brains has not changed. So we still respond with the same mechanisms in our brains to the now bills or like bad news or what, the things instead of like deadly situations, we respond to like stressors with the same kind of psychic energy, right? But so over time we've devolved so that we don't do that. But some of us haven't. Some of us still have that original kind of primitive signature. And I'm going to say that probably that's why when I got that DNA thing and I found out I have all those Neanderthal variant traits, like really high prevalence of them, I bet that has something to do with it.
Interesting.
Like, because if it's primitive people we're talking about and my DNA still has that in it, then maybe that's why, right?
Okay.
I don't know. You check your DNAs. Check and see if you guys have Neanderthal DNA. I don't know. A new study idea. Yeah. But then there's like the types that are really rare is like the black type, right? Which is
I have
this one is the black one. This is my lowest score. Surprisingly, it was 68%. I was surprised by that, but this is for people that have a history of severe emotional abuse and trauma, and also near-death experiences. And then they are usually caring, considerate, easygoing, who like try to let things just slide so, they don't have so much stress anymore. But they're very independent, very meticulous, very perfectionist, and very responsible in their own lives or whatever. And they are able to see like very subtle differences in like color and tone and musical notes and things like this. So it's very, very neurodivergent, right? Giving
Great.
neurodivergent, right? Um, and they're usually well-rounded in education, and they also can appear to be very cold and detached from emotions. Mhm. Um, and a lot of people see them as being superior. They have a superiority complex
Oh yeah,
and
I
think
get
they're
that a
arrogant
lot.
because
Oh yeah.
they know so much. They're also very bonded with kids and animals, right? Like animals and kids like flock to them, right? And
Yep.
this is the ISFJ or the ISFP type on the Myers-Briggs. And they usually have clairvoyant interaction or clairvoyant simulation. And the interaction is when you're possessed. That's what that is. Clairvoyant interaction is when you are actually possessed by a spirit and the spirit talks through you and you're
That
not in control anymore.
that makes perfect sense. That's exactly what I do. That's what my channel does.
Yeah.
It's like I'm in the back seat of the car and the spirit is in the front seat driving, but I'm allowing it to happen. Like I'm allowing myself to be in the back seat while it does it.
Yeah, this is it's called Umbra Kinesis.
Okay.
And it's this also has and also these people emit a light signature from their bodies. Okay? So they will emit a
wait. Umbra Kinetics, is that who you said?
yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay, do you remember that that picture I sent to the group of that purple light coming from me?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. It's blue. It's a blue. They're saying it's like a blue hue that like will be around you. That's what it says. It says it's a infrared light. Infrared. So infrared light, and it's not usually visible, but it also can result in spontaneous energy emissions that can make things warm or glow. Um, and these are people that should be doing light healing, whatever that is. I don't know what that means. Um, and then the clairvoyant simulation is like remote viewing is an aspect of that, or sensing things that are happening in present, like if you're trying to figure out something like in the present time. And they may experience probability shifting, okay, which is synchronicities and meaningful coincidences. Okay, so that's probability shifting is when a lot of weird things happen all at once that are leading to something, right? Um, and they're able to shift the current state of events and change the past. Even wait, what? Change the past? They are not mediums. They cannot directly interact with the dead, but they can pick up on information about the past, including the life a spirit had when they were alive, or even the past lives of the living. So this is not somebody that talks directly to spirits, but
well, those are all things I do. So
well, because you have multiple ones, right? So,
right. Yeah, I scored high on everything, but I scored most high on blue, white, red, and I think maybe yellow, but black was in there too.
Mine was 70.45% for black, 80 for blue, or 81 for blue, 68 for gray. What's gray? Purple's 81, red was 79, white was 81, and yellow was 90. So like those are that means I'm literally, like that shouldn't be all those things are kind of contradictory to each other too. So like it's interesting. I don't know how that works. So I actually sent an email to the lady that devised the test to ask these questions because I want to know the answers.
I think
Like,
that's cool.
how
I
is
think
it
we should have
possible?
her on the show.
Yeah, I joined her Facebook group earlier. She let me in, so I was grateful for that. Very small group. It's only 78 people. But yeah, I'm gonna ask. I asked those questions I wanted to know. So, But the gray type, I don't know what was gray. I forgot. Gray was something, I can't remember what it was. Because it's not even on my thing. Or it was. It's they are, oh, this INTJ. That's me. Okay. INTJ types. That makes sense.
Mhm.
And they are clairvoyance simulations. And it's a type of clairvoyance, an ESP, and autokinesis, which is, I don't know. So receive information about the past and present and future, precognition. And then,
Oh, it's the
again,
cognitive stuff.
yeah. And then autokinetic, meaning that they experience energy absorbing.
Oh.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Hang on.
Okay.
What the heck? Wow. Okay. So it says they may have experience as energy absorbers and may or may not experience levitation. What? Okay. On a very small scale, it says. They mainly work in energy and the environment, but can also be healers if their energy absorption is weak. So if their energy absorption is weak, meaning they're not sponging everything around them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to have a weak energy signal to be able to heal. You can't have a high one, because if it's high, it could be bad, right? So that's what I'm learning, I guess. So it has to be weak, because the body can only handle, like, another person's body can only handle a weak emission of energy like that. According
Right.
to
That's why people get, like, people who are really unhealed get really victimized around my energy.
I'm not, Laurel. I'm not that. I'm an INTJ. But I don't know. But
actually an ENFP.
But E is extrovert, right? So I'm both of those things. I'm not extra. I prefer to be introverted, but my personality dictates otherwise. So, like, I personally prefer to not be around a lot of people, probably because of these things, because they are draining. But
yeah,
and I'm a teacher. I'm a professor, like, so I have to be around people all the time. Right before I got on here, I just did a whole orientation to like 50 high school students that are, transferred over to college this summer. And I had to stand there and give them the whole spiel and, like, hate it. But, like, I would prefer to be more close-knit than, have a lot of people around me. But I do have to do that. So I guess I'm both. But I don't really know what that is. Oh, really? INTJ is like 2% or something? Yeah, I did. 90%.
Are there any ENFPs out there?
Yeah, but I don't think, like, this is the way that they're linking these to this is saying that these are traits that are likely. It's not like that it's like set in stone, right?
But it's still kind of fun, right? We love categorizing.
But also my type has changed over the years. If you take the Myers-Briggs test multiple times.
Another thing. You're taking the quiz for yourself right now, as is right now, not over your lifespan.
Right. It has to be right now. But the Myers-Briggs test, I've taken it many times for work or for school or whatever, and I've scored different types almost every time. Because it depends on what you're going through at the time.
Sorry, I had to cackle. Of course you are an ENFP, Shannon. Of course you are.
Extrovert, neurotic,
feeling.
I'm
an ENFP. It's extrovert, intuitive. So, like, we go through the world relying on our intuition and feeling, and that's how we perceive everything as well.
Oh, okay. That's what that's for. N is for that. I thought it was for neuroticism.
I mean, it's just a typical ENFP thing to, like, even laugh at it because we're very wacky.
I'm looking it up. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's intuition and judgment. So mine's introversion, intuition, thinking, and judgment. It's like,
right.
Yeah.
And that's why we're friends. It works because we each bring that, like, difference in there.
Oh, Laurel got her. Laurel did it. Okay.
Okay.
See. Cool.
Black and yellow mostly.
Yeah. So that's the darker side of things, Laurel. That's awesome. Hey, I am neurotic. I'm the first one. I am 100% about owning my neuroticism. I believe it benefits me in a very good way. Like the amount of degrees I get and like programs I'm in and like, furthering my education. Because if I wasn't neurotic, I wouldn't be doing this. For sure. Because how does it skip a sibling? It just does. Like, I mean, all traits do. Like, that's how genetics work.
I love that statement though. How does psychic ability skip one sibling? I'm psychic. My sister is an a-hole. Well, your sister is probably blocking it, actually. That's what I'm seeing. If she's blocking it. She doesn't want anything to do with it. She likes to be willfully blind, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I wouldn't hold too tight on the Myers-Briggs aspect of it because that's just like saying that the people that typically fit in this category have these kind of traits. Doesn't mean that that's what you are. Just like it doesn't mean that you're going to have all those experiences either. It just means that if you have one of those abilities, you probably can do the other. But the goal here to identify is to see what your two highest scores are, right? And then from there, you take those like courses, the free courses that are there. It's really just reading a book is what it is. It's not really a class.
It's not a course. It's just, you're just reading.
They call it that.
Taking a little quiz.
So you go and I don't know if you found that, Laurel, did you find it? The class link for that type that you are? Let's see. I'll put one in the chat here. So you guys can see what I'm talking about. Courses here. What am I? Here we go. Oh no. So I think the most common, let's see, I'll put which one? White. What was white again? White is, what is it? Let me see. This is ENF. Okay. Telepathic cognition. I'm going to put this one in the chat so you can see how to get to the classes, and then you can scroll down and click the color wheel thing that you are, and then go to the class from there. So I'm going to put that in the chat right here. So, and then the membership's free. I would join it just so that you can keep your scores, Here you go.
Here, let me see. Oh, and then Deborah said red and yellow over 86%.
Oh, here, Laurel, let me put the one for black in there for you. Actually, I'll put black in there.
That's actually quite funny because this is my mom. So my mom is actually psychic, you guys.
Wait, where does it say? Oh, yeah, right, red and yellow?
Yeah, 86%.
I thought that was your mom. Hi. That name was familiar to me. I remember from junior high.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So let's see.
So I want to know if you got all of them, Mom, or if you got just those two the most, or like, did you score? Because some people don't have every category, right? But some people have specialties, right?
So it's like, usually two. It's like you want to find the two highest scores on your chart on the printout or the results. And those are the two that you should ideally start to try to develop, right? Mm-hmm. That's what it says. Like if you scroll down on that last link I just put in is for Laurel. Like that Laurel I just put in the class to the black.
What am I? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like
so that will take you to the black one. Yeah.
And yes, our energy is higher together. We definitely build a circuit, Anna and I, as we go. I think that's definitely a thing.
Yeah, it does. Oh, here, if this is for Holy Gluckman, okay. I'll put the link back in the chat again right now for the actual assessment here. So you can take it.
Yeah.
Here's the link for the assessment again. I know every time I put a chat in, it goes 3 times because it's coming from all three of the accounts that we stream to. So sorry. That's why there's so this last one that I did put in the chat is for the assessment. You can take the assessment online. It took me like 5 minutes to do it. Answer current day situation. You're not going to be thinking over your whole lifetime span. You're just thinking about right now. How do these apply to me? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, listen. I don't know who this person is, but that's what she said, and you win a point with me. I don't care. Because that is that's just too good. Sorry. Thank you for the that's what she said.
Yes.
Yeah, I just a little sprinkle. right. So,
Yeah. But I mean, this is really fascinating to me because, again, it's the first time I've heard these things being explained in a way that, like, I personally have said almost verbatim exactly the
right.
same. And it's
Right.
and it's taking out the mystery of it. It's taking out the woo woo of it. It's giving you the science of it, and to see. So one of the things that was talked about in one of the courses I was taking earlier said about what they've been able to measure in the lab, right? And so, okay, so like put yourself in the situation, like you see a snake, right? Oh shit, there's a snake. All right, so now your heart rate's going to increase, your breathing's going to increase, your galvanic skin response is going to increase, okay? Because those are all things that happen when we become on fight or flight, right? Okay.
Right.
So that's everybody pretty much like put something dangerous in front of them. That's the response they're going to have. Okay. The difference is people that are psychic have that response prior to seeing the thing. Like they can actually in the lab measure repeatedly and consistently and and have it validated that people that are psychic have those feelings prior to the stimulus being shown. So like
Yes.
before they know there's danger, they know that there's danger. And
Yes.
again, that's what I'm saying. It goes back to the ancient times when we were back in hunter gatherers and needed to know these things like on that visceral level. And we just didn't change from that. Like I think that's what probably is going on. Like we just retained that ability, and everybody else kind of like was able to just assimilate into like the less dangerous world, But like for some reason, ours is still dangerous. So, you know,
Right.
like
Right.
yeah. Oh, thanks. Oh, hey, thank you. You saw the next level soul. Did you? That's cool. I'm glad you contacted your guide or your
Oh, and
higher
then
self.
Blue Portal got 75% yellow. Blue
Yep.
Portal, did you get any others, or was that the only one? I'm interested to know because I know you and I know where you're at on your awakening journey. So I'm interested in what your other results were. Wizard brain.
Dream downloads
Okay.
really work. What do you mean
So
exactly? My God, my boyfriend's so great. Can I just say? Nick,
so
you're
dream
awesome.
downloads, right? What does that mean?
What do you mean, Holy Glickman?
I mean, they do talk about dreams on the website actually for
Yep.
the blue category. They speak on things that we would consider like dream walking.
Yeah. Oh, well, Shy Gun got over 75% on 4 of them. Black, blue, yellow, white. Yep.
Okay, like us. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, the yellow one is, I think the yellow one is the most probably coveted one, right? The one that everybody wants, that the ability to actually like talk to dead people, move things with your mind, like all those things, right? But it will tell you in the course, if you take the course, it'll tell you the negative aspects of it too, and how that looks. And God damn it, if it's not correct,
Right.
if it's not talking about how you probably have addiction issues, how you probably have problems with interpersonal relationships, how you probably have had trauma and are not really close to family, like all of those things. I mean, I'm not saying that that's specifically what it says for that one, but some of them have like the negative side effects of it, and like the personality types, what you're experiencing was like dead on. Like
Right.
I was just like, oh my gosh. And and then also it tells you the difference between mental illness and this. Like the difference, like if you're mentally ill, it's gonna, these things can look like psychic things, right? But they're actually mental illness, and that's what here's those things, right? And then it'll
Right.
say, but then it'll show you the ones that are not attached to mental illness. And like that's really helpful also, so that you can stop questioning. Because I mean, you should always question your sanity, because
Always. Always.
and you should also remain a skeptic. I am
Oh yeah,
very
we gotta
skeptical.
check ourselves regularly,
Yeah.
and be like, wait a second, just to make sure that this is reality and we're not going off the deep end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And by the way, Shannon, no, don't ask her to see a pic of the BF because she'll do it right away. She knows she has a pic right next
He's
to her.
so cute. He's so cute. Okay.
She has a
Okay.
pic right
He's my
next to her,
screensaver.
guys.
He's my screensaver on my phone. So like literally. Oh man. but that's it's hard to see because the time's over his face. But like, dude, what's up? Can you guys see?
Yep, that's her guy.
He's so great. I'm so happy. Yeah. Anyways, God, I'm sorry. I can't help it. It's 6 months in and I'm still like, I'm worse than I was actually. I'm worse. More into it. Yeah, okay, I'll see your cat. Trade.
Yes. Show us pics of your cat. We want to see. I always want to see pics of somebody's cat.
Yeah.
So I agree with this. Yeah, constantly referring to your higher self can make you feel like you are a little insane. Yes, but also it helps. I mean, Anna, don't you check in with your higher self?
Yeah. That bitch is hard on me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so yeah, I do. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, because whenever I'm talking to myself, who am I talking to, man? Like, like clearly I'm talking to myself. And thank you. He does have very nice eyes. They're green. They're gorgeous. Gorgeous.
He has kind eyes.
He does. And he's also psychic. But he doesn't believe that about himself, but it's super obvious. It's like, dude, seriously.
Well, for any relationship to work for either of us, it has to be with somebody who's in the same boat, magically speaking.
Yeah, he was reading Plato last night at my house. Just Plato. I was like, cool. Like, I mean, it's just, like, yeah, it's amazing. I'm sorry. Yeah, why'd you bring up my boyfriend? Why'd you have to do that? Like,
well, Shannon did it. Shannon.
No, Shannon.
Shannon's fault. I'm blaming her.
I love too, Persephone. I do. Well, I didn't a while back, but if you remember, but I do know.
I do too. I love love. It's wonderful when you have it. Shy Gun says black 81%, blue 78, red 76, white 78, and yellow 78. I'm going to safely say, Shy Gun, that you've got a lot of transformative abilities, or that you need to tap into those if you haven't.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you take the courses, right, like go to at the top there of that website on the menu, it says course, and just drop it down and do the what am I on, after you've clicked one of the colors that or you can go directly from the test, I think, actually, too. I know, Plato. I mean, dude, he read some of it out loud to me, and I was like, so see what I mean? Like, sometimes people said dumb stuff and they got famous for it, right? Like, so you never know, like, maybe 100 years from now, 200 years from now, people are going to be quoting you, Nick, like saying what you said, because yours is way better than that. It was a very convoluted quote by Plato. It was very funny. Yeah, you should try it. So that's the thing, trying. The more you practice, the more it's like a muscle, I guess, like, right? So the more you work it out, the more it happens. I mean, there are times, though, there are ebbs and flows, guys. So that's the thing. Like, there are times where I'll be really connected and having a lot of stuff happening, and then there'll be downsides where there's times where it's kind of just like nothing really is going on, and it's like I always get worried, like, oh my God, did I lose it? And then something will happen later, like pop back up again. It's very normal for these things to kind of ebb and flow because it's a lot. And also, they were talking about loud compared to quiet events, right? So a quiet event is when something just comes into your head naturally, but a loud event is a more frightening one where, something like jumps at you, like, in your mind's eye, or something. And then also, if you feel like the presence of evil, this was a really interesting one, that despite all this other stuff about possibly being able to talk to disincarnate spirits and stuff, if you feel like a presence of evil, you are not supposed to automatically assume that that's what it is. You're supposed to assume that it is something else, like it is sleep paralysis, that it is, all of these different things. I can't remember what course it's in. Damn it. I wish I had this written down. But because if it is something bad, you don't want to give it any kind of credence, right?
Right.
Because that gives it power. But but you don't want to jump to those conclusions. And then also, it says it states it like outright that don't think that your dreams are prophetic unless you have a dream, you wake up, you write that dream down in a journal, and then the things exactly as the dream said come true. If they're off a little bit, you can't count it. Yeah. Like
Right.
it has to be exactly what
It
you
has
said.
to be exact, and it has to be a serious event. And what I mean by that is like when I was 22 years old, I dreamt about my grandfather's death to a T, and I predicted it, wrote it down, brought it to the family, like said this and this is going to happen, and it helped them prepare for his death. And but in the dream, it was a dream of my grandmother coming to me and telling me.
Right. Oh, another thing, you know how I have said on this show a few times, like how the stuff we get sometimes is stupid, like just dumb, like what the hell's the point? Like, why did I see that? Like that I can't do anything about it. Well, now I know what, because it talks about it. Says those are called directive incidents. They're directing you to continue practicing your ability to get stronger. That's why. That's the only reason why.
Oh.
Yep. So if it's prescriptive, it means that it's to help someone or yourself. If it's directive, it's to direct you to continue practicing and growing that skill. So
Very
there's
cool.
that. Yeah, so that explains why the silly, like, the silly things happen, right? But yeah. So does anybody have any questions? I have been at work since 8 o'clock this morning. I am exhausted, so I need to get off here soon. So you guys have questions for tarot or whatever, how it works.
Or for my channel, or
yeah.
if you want just some Reiki channeled to you, just throw it in. I've got my crystals in front of me for anybody who wants to just sit
I gotta
back.
grab my cards. I'm gonna go grab my cards.
Okay. And if you have questions, we have answers. So go ahead and post your questions in the chat right now.
Oh my gosh, I got the coolest new tarot deck. You guys. This deck's so cool. Okay, it's like they look like Polaroid photos, right? But what I realized is when you lay them out and read them, these iridescent images pop up on top, and it's like another whole. It's really cool. Like I was reading them last night for the first time, and I was like, oh my gosh, I see a whole other message on top laying there. Like it's really cool. But anyways, it's called the. Oh man, I remember. Some kind of like traveling roads or something. I don't know. They look like Polaroid though. They're pretty cool.
Okay, so so Laurel says Reiki would be nice. I'm hoping my new job goes well. So Laurel,
you got the job.
Yay! So I will be sending you some Reiki right now with this really beautiful celestite I have. And then Anna, here's a question from Quick.
Yep, I see it. I'm already shuffling for it.
So I'll just show you what we've got. It's pretty.
Malachite shotgun. Oh my gosh, I gotta turn the light on. It's too dark. Oh yeah, okay. Now I can see. Great.
This is for Laurel. May she be blessed on her road with her new job.
Congratulations on the new job, Laurel.
Yes.
And for Quixotic Prancer, yeah. So I got Wheel of Fortune here. So for you, so like maybe it's time to cut out some repeating. Like get out of the things that are repeating over and over again that you find yourself in that are not serving you anymore. Time to cut some ties. I think set a new direction, like start things new. Like the old is worn out, the wheel is getting flimsy, so to speak. Like I think that you're maybe finally getting fed up with some things. Oh, and let's see what else. Oh, and yeah, man, like it looks like okay. All right. So Queen of Cups. Yes, you are emotional reserves, right? Like don't let people continually take advantage of those things. It's over and over again, cycle of just being there, I guess maybe like putting out and not getting back. So that needs to end. And then also you got 3 of coins here, which is great because this is about higher learning, like as a mystical magical learning and being open to that. So I think if you cut out the things that are draining you, then you will have all of this other energy left to actually start to get some of your like strengthen some of the stuff that you want to actually work on spiritually, you know. So this is good. I think it's the cycle's coming to an end here for you. Like the negative stuff's ending. You're gonna have more of your own reserves left, right? And actually have some. And then that's gonna afford you the ability to focus on your spiritual growth, which is something that is important for you to do and strengthen your connection to your source, right? So that's what I got for you. So yeah, you definitely have a message here, and it's that time to cut it loose. Whatever it is ain't right for you anymore. And oh, good. I'm glad that's what you wanted to hear. That's what you needed to hear. Okay, cut it loose. Let it go. I'll show you the cards that I got. So this is the Wheel of Fortune. Can you see the wheel there? Is it like kind of glowing? I don't know. It's iridescent. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, and then this is the Queen of Cups. See that? Isn't that cool? And then the 3 of Coins. I don't know. You can see that, right? Kind of, hopefully. So that's what you got. So I'm glad that helps. And they're pretty, right? I love these cards.
They are pretty.
Acrobomb is really pretty too. See?
Ooh, I like the moons on it.
Yeah. Reminds me like Arabic. It kind of looks Arabic to me for some reason. I don't know why, but I like it. I really like it. It's pretty.
Okay, what can you see regarding my new friend Jack? I have so many things to say to you right now, Blue Portal, so I will let Anna do it.
Jack. What's up with Jack? Yeah. Okay. Say for Jack, and then I was saying for Shiga, like that is that Malachite's good for people that drain you to keep that energy away. Also,
oh, absolutely. Or Malachite with Amazonite together is a really good combo for that.
Yeah, and then it'll crack too. That stone is known to crack when it's full, and then you know when to get another one. Like, and that's happened to me. I was like, that doesn't happen, and it did. Like, I was surprised.
Oh, it absolutely does. I wear them until they crack. I had a malachite that I wore every single day on my finger until it did its job, and then boom, it was gone for good. It just disappeared forever.
Wait, whose question am I reading again? From the
right
Jack.
Here,
Blue Portal.
Jack. The Blue Portal. She wants to know what you see about Jack.
Okay. Well, all right. I see Ace of Swords right off the bat. So I don't know. Let's see. I don't know, man. I see conflict here. Like I see there's like some kind of why are you smiling, Stephanie? Who kisses? I see. So it looks like I got 5 of Wands here, and that's about like unnecessary bickering back and forth for like just the sake of bickering. Like I don't know. So like somebody that's argumentative and maybe like has to be right all the time. I'm not sure. Like some kind of energy.
Yeah, I'm getting screamed at. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. This isn't it.
Yeah, like this is. I don't know. So let me see what else I got. If there's anything. So this is like somebody that wants to like they're going to be difficult to please, difficult to. Oh shit! The Tower. No.
Yeah, it's a no-go.
I don't know what's going on here. I know this is someone that we know, but I can't never remember like is who's behind this account. But like it's no.
Alex.
Alex.
She's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know, but like but you know, and like this is the Tower, so this is like it's not gonna. I mean, I don't know if this is a romantic part, like potential romantic person or something, but like this is a person that's gonna end in the Tower for you. So I don't know. There's probably already signs of that though. Like you have some like red flag or some orange flags maybe something. I don't know. Just be careful and just watch for the tendency to need to control the situation or to be right all the time or just argumentative for no reason.
Yeah,
That
look
makes
out
sense.
for that. That's
Yeah,
always a bad sign. That's also like a mental health thing. If somebody's always
something.
trying to argue with you, that's a mental health issue.
Yeah. Oh, man, I hate that. Like like that. Remember that one guy? Like he just every single thing was a fight. Like everything I said, he would argue with everything. Like the dumbest stuff. Like it was just like Macy's changed their logo. Oh no, they didn't. Like I mean, like the dumbest, like stuff that he didn't even know what he was talking about, man. And he would argue with me. It was like, oh my god, dude, shut up.
Right. Just
Like,
people that want to be miserable. Okay, so
yeah.
Noelle, have my actions in the last 48 hours moved things in the right direction? So I'm seeing fire, which indicates to me that it is moving for sure and quickly. I see your life turning a 180 in the next you said 48 hours, right? In the last 48 hours, well, you're going to have another 48 hours of more movement. And it's going to be just exactly where you want things to be. It's going to move fast. What do you
Yeah,
see, Anna?
that this is a so I don't know. There's judgment here, so I don't know what you did in the last 48 hours, but maybe it's the thing that needed to happen to set something right, like to make like clear the record or something like that. I don't know. So it looks like it, yeah.
It looks like you're going to be moving though, too. Like moving location. Am I right?
But then I got the Emperor for Blue Portal. So yeah, like narcissistic person.
Okay, so
next one.
let's see. Where are we at? Hold on, everybody. We're getting to you. Okay. Shannon. I think you're going to be offered a very big healing opportunity. That's what I'm seeing.
What retreat are you going to?
Something about your heart chakra.
Aren't you teaching like ESL now? That's cool.
Yes,
I do that too. That's what I teach when I have an ESL class at the college. I teach. So if you need lesson plans, let me know. You need help. Okay. Let's see.
I'm over here eating baklava.
Who's a witch? Oh, he's a witch? Oh, no. Does he call himself a witch? Blue Portal?
What?
I feel like that's weird for a guy. No.
What?
He's saying he calls himself a witch. Oh, okay. He's like, no. Okay.
Okay, we were going to have a moment there, weren't we?
Because maybe. He's in the crowd. Which one? Which branch? Ask him that.
Right.
That's important. That's important.
People can be mysterious and be like, oh, I blah, 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 and it's stupid.
Okay, so my boyfriend is hardcore. And like when he said he was into it too, I was like, oh, really? He's more into it than me. Literally. And it's amazing. Like unreal. But he knows what the hell he's talking about. That boy has receipt. Like he knows exactly what he's saying. Like it is crazy. He's writing books, man. Like it's amazing. Anyway, it's like family lineage. So he's not trained, right? Is that what you're saying? He's not trained. He's self-trained. Like because that's like I don't know, man. That's what I'm asking. Like because that sounds to me right off the bat what I'm getting is a kind of superiority complex situation where you think that you know more stuff than you do. And then if you know stuff, that's going to be a problem. Does that make sense? Like if you have ability, like, I don't know how to put this right. Like the energy that I pick up from this person, and I don't know them at all, and I know that's a fake name you used, but like what I'm getting is that it's like they're going to be right regardless. So even if they're saying wrong stuff, that's what I'm asking. You know what I mean? Like, because if you ask him, like, okay, so what kind of practice do you do? Like, what's your background? Like, what's your esoteric knowledge? You know, like,
Right.
if they don't have anything to say, like, my boyfriend would be like, oh, Neoplatonism and blah, 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 and Hermeticism and whatever the fuck. Like, crap, I don't even, like, he has to explain it to me because I'm like,
I can rattle it off, you know, and you can too, like Blue Portal, you can rattle off books that you do know and that you are learning. And
right. And if you're not learned in books,
yeah.
So I want to say this. So I have been a huge promoter of researching what the hell you're doing, like forever. Okay. And people have bitched at me about it and been like, I don't read boomer or whatever. Okay. First of all, you're bad at math because I ain't a boomer. Okay. But second of all, like dumb. All right. So here's the thing. The difference between the ability to like you were a magician or a witch or whatever, only when you could read.
Yeah.
That was the thing that delineated you from common people.
Literate.
You have to be literate.
Have to be literate.
You need to study. So if you're practicing magic and you're not studying stuff, you don't have any like Levi or Rigardi or freaking and not Crowley. I'm gonna say no to that, but you know, you don't have any of the like Agrippa or John Dee or any of the stuff that's a basic stuff. Like then I'm gonna say that you're mostly probably, especially men. No offense, guys, but like I think that it's a power. Like women do it for I think different reasons. I don't know exactly what the driving force behind men doing it is, but like I feel like that is a way to manipulate people, and like that's my experience. So I'm not saying everybody's like that, but my experience is it's a manipulation tool mostly. That's why I was really not believing the guy.
There's another element to that because like queer men, I feel have a lot of magic.
Right. Okay. I don't know. I don't have much experience with that or any.
I do. And I believe so. Absolutely.
And, okay. Go ahead. The family lineage is great, but like how did he learn it? Like, how's he learn it? Who taught him? And then, like, when they died, if they're still alive, they're still actively training. Like, these things are good to know because it's just like if you're going to share something like that, you need to make sure you're on the same page about it, right? And that's where this conflict probably would be going. Is like your methodology and your belief system is going to be in conflict with his, but probably not for the reasons that are legit, like not legit reasons, but just because of regurgitation of fact of things that they've heard. Does that, you know what I mean? Instead of like actually believing something themselves, it's like I was told this, so therefore I just believed it, and like or whatever, you know, or I have an idea in my head and that idea is right because it's my idea. That's the kind of vibe I get. So I don't know. I'm still stuck on this person, but I'm like trying to shuffle for somebody else, but it wasn't working. Sorry. Like it just kept coming back up. Sorry. But I feel like it could be potentially like a traumatic kind of vibe from this person that would not be good for you. So, but you know, hey, you know, you use your discernment, you know best.
Right, for sure. Right? This is interesting. The chat's getting interesting here. We have not made an episode on numerology, but I've been doing numerology for a very long time. And we actually, remember we did that numerology thing together, Anna, where it gave us like the most like insane results. We should do one on that.
Yeah, I mean like the, you know, like your life path number and all that stuff, for, you know, those things, or just like the numbers. Like that's how, you know, when I got my doctorate, they're like, what day do you want to have on your diploma? Because I had already submitted my dissertation and it was already approved. And they're like, what date do you want for your, you know, diploma to say after, you know, after this date that you submitted? And I was like, so I looked it up and I was like, I want May 4th. Not because of the...
Me too. Sorry. Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty accurate, right? Like I'm a 9 and it worked exactly kind of like how I'm a teacher and you know, all the stuff. But I picked the 4th, May 4th, not for Star Wars, but because that's the day that symbolize like that number, the number of May 4th, 2024 adds up to the meaning of it was that you're spiritually, like it's a spiritual motivation to better yourself and others through like your hard work. And like I was like, that works for me for the graduation date, like I take some things like that into consideration. Plus I have that birthmark of the number 4 on my arm, so like there's that. I'm kind of partial to that number.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what type. I have no clue. Fibbed. Linda Goodman, I don't even know who that is.
No,
Gandhi was 9. So was
numerology. Like, I don't know. I'd have to look at my books, but like, just the usual. I mean, it's
right.
easy to do like life path stuff and like personality stuff and all that. It's fun. But that one really generated some crazy stuff.
Oh, the Matrix report.
There it is. Yeah.
Here, I'll put it in the chat. This one's really, and it's free, and it's super. It's creepy.
Like it even gives you past life stuff. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I went ahead and paid for the report. It was like $10. And like it actually tells you like how to fix the thing. Like, I mean, it was pretty accurate. I gotta find it on my computer because I like downloaded it and then like never really read it. Like I paid for it and didn't really go over it. But I'll put it in the chat. You guys can try this. This is really interesting. I was surprised by how accurate I thought it was. And I'd never even heard of it before.
Oh, you know what? I really loved what you said also earlier about you have to be literate to be a witch, because here's something that I told my daughter today. I was going over my grimoire with my daughter, and I was sitting there asking her to read it back to me to make sure that she knew how to read the cursive in the book, because this is hers that is going to go to her when I'm gone, and for her to pass through the family. Right. And so it's very important that each of us read the cursive and be able to read the book.
I mean, that's how people used to hide secret knowledge in books, because people couldn't read, like, right. And so the idea that you're not going to spend any time researching stuff, like, give me a break, dude. Like, what's wrong with you? This is like, how do you even know what you're into? Like, how do you even know? I can't, like, it's just it's silly. It's like, I'm going to write a report on something and not do any research about it. Like, but even worse, because I'm going to practice something and not do any research about it. I'm not going to know where it comes from. I'm not going to know what the intentions are behind it. Like, witchcraft is a big game of telephone over the years, generations, right? Like, of things being handed down and like passed on. It's important to know the basics.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's why writing things down is so important. Record keeping is so important. I mean, in mine, we should probably do an episode on grimoires and how to pass them down. I mean, they're so in depth.
I just wish my handwriting was better. My handwriting's not so great.
I don't even care. I'm just glad that it's legible and that I'm able to even pass this down, like that it's even a thing to be able to do. It's just such a gift.
I got to get off here, guys. I got to go. I'm sorry. I know there's other questions, but I've got to make dinner still. And I'm like, out. Like, I'm burnt out. But like, we might come on. I might come back on, like, I don't know, maybe over the weekend or something, and like do readings, just to make up for it. But I'm spent today. I've been up literally working since 8 a.m. and I don't normally do that. And I'm tired. And I don't think I can do any more readings.
No worries.
Love you guys though.
It's fine. Love you guys. And we will see you next week.